Hello everyone, you are all welcome to lecture number 961, and today's topic is synthetic rubber. Actually, the scientist or chemist, they started looking for synthetic approach because during World War I it was very much in demand. That was in 1918-20. The rubber and the natural rubber what it was produced was not enough to meet the demand. So they started looking for synthetic one, and the history goes like that already in 1820 Faraday, he was successful to know that the rubber is the mixture of hydrocarbon. Then later on, William in 1875, he could establish and he concluded that actually rubbers are made up of C5H8 and C10H16 type of units, and later on, after a lot of research, it was found that all these rubbers, they are the polymer of isoprene, that is C5H8 units. So it was established that rubber is the polymer of C5H8 or isoprene unit. Then in early 90s, that was in 1920 or 27, they were successful to synthesize rubber starting from acetone. With the acetone, they could get the dimer, and with that they were able to get di-isoprene unit, and that di-isoprene unit was further polymerized into that is isoprene polymer, and then the synthesis started. And actually the synthetic rubber is the chemical substance which is synthesized and which has the property of elasticity, elastomer, and that elastic property as well as the physical property which is similar to natural rubber is called synthetic rubber. So here I am giving some historical background of the synthetic rubber, how the world was forced to shift towards synthesis. The reason was of World War I. During World War I, there was deficiency of rubber in most of the nations except Japan, and actually Germany was very much desperate because Germans, they found a lot of problem because of the deficiency of natural rubber, and it is Germans who were successful to synthesize the rubber, and then the synthetic rubber came in the market on commercial level. So here number one, historical, synthetic high polymers possessing either the same and similar physical properties as that of natural rubber are called synthetic rubber. I have already told you that those synthetic polymers which are having the similar physical property like elasticity, like resistance to oil, to some solvents, to atmospheric oxygen, are known as synthetic rubber. Number two, usually synthetic rubber is an improvement over natural rubber, especially with respect to its resistance to oil, gas, solvents, etc. Attempts to find out synthetic substitute for natural rubber began very early, even in 1800. Number three, Faraday in the year 1826 concluded that natural rubber was a hydrocarbon with C5H8 and C10H16 formula. Then Greville William. The William in the year 1860 obtained isoprene, a liquid from rubber, and he considered rubber as a polymer of isoprene. So actually it was William who gave the concept that rubber is the polymer of combination of units of isoprene, that is C5H8. Number 4, W.A. Tilden, that was in the year 1875, found that isoprene, a product of decomposition of natural rubber on exposure to air or on treatment with certain chemicals, gave a rubber-like substance. But as sufficient amount of rubber were available to meet the world demand, little effort were made to produce a substitute of the natural rubber. Actually, it was Tilden, on the basis of decomposition of rubber, he gave the hint that we can go for synthetic one, and he mentioned that they can get the rubber type of substance, but at that time they were getting enough rubber from natural source, and all the world demand was met from the natural source. During the First World War, in the year 1918, there was a remarkable development of the synthetic rubber, when all nations except Japan were in deficit of natural rubber, and especially the Germans faced the shortage of rubber supplies, and rubber supply was cut, and it was Germans who started this commercial basis the synthesis of rubber. So, after the Second World War, Germans, Russians, and even Americans, they were trying how to get the synthetic rubber, and the problem was to get or to synthesize the isoprene unit in presence of metallic sodium. It was very costly. It was not cost effective, and later on, with the help of butadiene, the Germans and Russians, they were successful to synthesize on commercial basis for their own purposes, and that was known as Buna rubber. And then Americans, they synthesized SBR, that is styrene butadiene, and that styrene butadiene was so successful commercially that then the market value of the synthetic rubber was well established, and all the industries to produce the synthetic rubber could survive. So here, number 5, the Germans attempted to synthesize rubber by polymerizing the isoprene units in the presence of sodium metal. But there was no cheap method of getting isoprene unit. Fritz Hoffmann, in the year 1909, first of all synthesized rubber by the polymerization of 2,3-dimethyl butadiene, and which can be obtained from acetone in the following way. The reaction is given. These are the 2 moles of acetone. Hydrogenation is taking place, H2 in presence of ammonium and mercury, and we will get pinacol, Again at 400 degrees centigrade temperature in presence of Al2O3, it is finally converted into 2,3-dimethyl butadiene. So they were successful to get the butadiene starting from acetone. Number 6. By the end of Second World War, Germans and Russians were starting producing all their required rubber by synthetic means. So the commercial scale production of synthetic rubber was about 1 million ton per year by 1945. The synthetic rubber had been produced by the polymerization of large number of conjugated diene. Conjugated means alternate double and single bond. When in carbon chain there is alternate one double, one single, one double, one single. That system is known as conjugated dienes, resembling to that of isoprene units. The Buna rubber, that is the polymer of butadiene. So the polymer of butadiene, that rubber is called Buna rubber, were synthesized by the Germans by the action of sodium butadiene, and that is why such synthetic rubber is known as Buna rubber. Similarly, Americans made SBR, that is styrene butadiene rubber, and usually known as GRS. And since then, the synthetic rubber industries could survive. So here with this I will stop, and in next lecture again I am going to discuss lot of improvement in synthetic rubber industries that I will be discussing. Once again, thank you very much for watching the lecture.